What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are here with a brand new series recap, the second last one we have to do before the start of the playoffs. This one, Boston came to town in a AL East showdown, and it was a hell of a series. So make sure you stay tuned to see the full thing, and with that being said, make sure you also like and subscribe so you don't miss new videos coming out. And let's get right into it. All right, so here we go. Game one, Boston and Toronto. And on the mound for this one, the game one playoff starter hasn't been announced yet, but we already know it's going to be Kevin Gausman. And to start it off, he was absolutely cooking them boys. Strikeout after strikeout. But then in the second inning, he gives up a base hit with a runner on second, which allows Boston to score their first run. It is 1-0. Later, with the bases loaded in the second inning, 2 outs, George Springer down the left field line. They call it a foul ball. Now, if you see on the replay, it is obviously not a foul ball, and the umpires are still trying to rig New York to win. Look at this, bro. That is not no foul ball. It went over the bag fair, and even George Springer thinks they're trying to rig it for New York, bro. Look at this man's reaction. Look, this is the most confused man I've seen in my entire life. And then the very next pitch, it's a ball off the plate and he gets called on strike 3. This is insane. But with that being said, Kevin Gausman goes back to cooking them boys. I think he had 7 or 8 strikeouts this game. He was absolutely going crazy. Now, in the bottom of the 4th, 2 on for Andres Gimenez. What will happen? He will get it to the shortstop and they get the out at second, but a run scores. It is 1-1. Then the pitching change for Boston comes. New pitcher in the game. Davis Schneider gets down swinging, so it remains 1-1. Now, in the 6th, runners on the corners for Boston. They're still looking to do some damage against Kevin Gausman. And Kevin Gausman lets up a base hit, which means it is 2-1. The runner from first goes to third, and Boston takes the lead. Now, still in the same inning, Kevin Gausman looking to get out of it. He does not get out of it. He sends a double to the right field wall, and it's going to score 2 runs, and it is 4-1 Boston. Kevin Gausman cooking to start it off, but Boston figured him out. And that's all the offense we would see this game, as George Springer would be the final hope for the Blue Jays, and he would go down with a flyout to left field. So that double down the left field line that was obviously fair came back and costed the Blue Jays as they lost by 3. But that's okay, because we still got 2 more games to go, so let's see what went down in those 2 games. So now it's the middle game, game 2 against Boston and Toronto, and the Blue Jays are looking for a little bit of a comeback, but this man is on the mound, Max Scherzer. And Max Scherzer's first inning ERA has to be like over 10, bro, because he lets up a base hit to start the game, and then he lets up another base hit to start the game. It is runners on first and third with only 1 out in the first inning, and then he gives up this base hit, which is a double down the right field line, which is going to score a run and make it 1-0 Boston. But don't worry, Boston is still not done, because Max Scherzer gives up another base hit, 4 base hits in a row, couple doubles as well, and they score 3 runs in the first inning. It's 3-0 Boston. Okay? After this, though, Max Scherzer decides to lock the frick in. He gives up some base runners, but gets out of the jam, and it's still 3-0. Now, who's not locked in is the Blue Jays offense, because we're still struggling to score runs. Over our past 12 games, we've scored like under 2 runs per game. This has been insane, but the Boston Red Sox still think they need more runs to beat us, which they don't. So then this guy, Masataka Yoshida, sends one far and away. It's 4-0. And now Jose Barrios, who recently got moved to the bullpen, comes in and strikes out the first batter. And then he gets the next batter to pop up to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. over at first base. And then he also gets the final batter he faces to retire the side in the 7th inning. So much better than Max Scherzer. Then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is looking to get something going. All right, 1-2 count. He thinks it's ball. It's on the inside corner, strike 3. He points at the ground, says something to the umpire, and the umpire tosses Vladimir Guerrero Jr. John Schneider comes out for an explanation, but he's not the one who also gets ejected, because hitting coach David Popkins is now out of the ball game. Tensions are boiling over in Toronto. This is not looking good, ladies and gentlemen. We need to keep it together. All right, but it's hard to keep it together when Jose Barrios is letting up 3-run home runs. It's now 7-0 Boston. And in the 8th inning, this man, Garrett Crochet, is still on the freaking mound, still dominating. He gets the call, and he goes 8 strong innings. But IKF sees there's a new pitcher into the game, so he decides to hit a home run, finally scored a run, and it's an IKF home run. If I were to bet money on what would be the way we scored our first run, it would not be that, okay? Now, final hope, Alejandro Kirk, base hit to right, but no, he gets thrown out at first base because he's so slow. He's like slower than a tortoise, so he gets thrown out of first base on a single to end the game, and the Boston Red Sox win it 7-1. Seen a lot of people saying this because they were down, so he didn't try to run, but he's really just that slow. Hopefully we can come back in Game 3, though, so see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Game 3, Toronto and Boston. This is the biggest game of the series so far because the Blue Jays lead in the AL East is now gone. And it is a bullpen day for the Blue Jays. The starter, Louis Varland, is feeling it through the first 2 innings. He gets 3 strikeouts out of the 6 batters he faces, and now Toronto's offense finally looks to get going. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. beats out the ground ball to third base. Addison Barger takes a walk, and now Anthony Santander, who just came off the 60-day IL, has a chance to hit a grand slam, except he hits it just foul, and on the next pitch, he gets caught looking. Now, in the 5th inning, Nathan Lucas, with Eric Lauer on the mound after 3 dominant innings, gets some help from his right fielder to keep it a 0-0 game. You'll love to see it. After Eric Lauer dominates, they call in Yariel Rodriguez from the bullpen, who also comes in and freaking locks in because that's a strikeout right there. Now, next inning, the Boston Red Sox make some errors and walk some batters to load the bases. So Boston makes a pitching change. Brian Bayo is out of the game. They bring in the new pitcher, but we all know that doesn't change the outcome. Dalton Varsho's at the plate. He's looking to get the Jays on the board, and he hits the biggest grand slam, the biggest home run, the biggest hit of Toronto Blue Jays season so far, and it's 4-0. Now, Andres Gimenez on second base. We're feeding off the momentum from Dalton Varsho's greatness. And Unk has still got it. He sends one to the opposite field. And it's a 2-run blast for George Springer. Give him comeback player of the year. Give Blue Jays first in the AL East. It's 6-0 off 2 major home runs. You'll love to see it for the boys. We're locked back in. We're scoring some runs. All right, but Boston sees this, and they think they can still win, which they can't. So there's a runner on second. They get a base hit. It's now 6-1. And now in the 9th inning, Jeffrey Hoffman loads the bases, but he looks to get out of it, and he does. He gets them to pop up. Someone please catch the baseball. Andres Gimenez catches the baseball, and this is the biggest win of the season so far. I know we lost the series, but we're riding the momentum, and the offense is finally back. If you enjoyed this one, make sure you like and subscribe. Got one more series to go. Biggest series of the year, so I'll see you for that one. Peace.